Carthage must be destroyed. I'm just doing another quick vlog here today. I know I've been doing a lot of them. They're the easiest thing for me to do right now, and they keep my channel going, so that's what I've been doing. But I just want to quickly talk about things that I plan to do and want to do on this channel. It's kind of, I guess, more so for my own direction, just so I can stick to some topics. Recently I did some spring cleaning, cleared out a whole bunch of other projects, and now I only have, I still have a few, but not that many. So I just want to kind of rehash what I'm going through on this channel. Some people have been watching me and have been watching the Clash of Spears walkthrough I've been doing. Right now I am currently on the, in the rule book it's called Putting It All Together, and I do want to get through that. I've just set my some skirmishers up here with a Roman commander there just to match the book. I do want to continue doing this. I haven't got rid of my Punic guys. In the end, I decided to keep all my Carthaginians and other guys. But it's been slow going on these guys for a number of reasons. The first reason is that, number one, I have sat down a few times now trying to film these Clash of Spears, just kind of putting it together. And you think with one unit it would be simple, but when I start doing solo wargaming, I'm finding that, especially when you're doing something to represent someone else's rules, I just want to make sure everything is correct and everything is right. Nobody's perfect, but I want to get the main rules down and feel confident enough to present them without having to flip through the rules so many times. So I've been playing through it a bit myself, just kind of going back and forth, getting used to the rules before I continue it. Because if I am going to be playing a solo war game or anything like that, I like to be comfortable with the game enough to a level where it's similar to, if I sat down and played Hail Caesar right now, I could just go right through a solo game, not a problem whatsoever, because I've played it so much. Whereas Clash of Spears, I've only tried out a few times and I've gone through a walkthrough. So every time I film this, the next phase, I get a little upset because number one, I forget something and I have to flip through a rulebook. It takes more time than I want it to, and number two, I'm constantly bombarded by various interruptions. With running a small business out of home, having a very needy dog, and then all the other life's needs, I find it hard to sit down and film a solo game. Even when I'm painting by myself, I can do a vlog for 10-20 minutes when I'm painting or if I'm doing something quick. But if I'm painting for an hour, I might get up 3 or 4 times, just to deal with the dog or clean something up, or someone calls regarding business or something comes to mind. So it kind of like an ADHD moment. So until I get more comfortable with the rules, and I'm just going to rehash them, play through a bit myself, that's when I'll continue Clash. As for Romans and Punic Wars themselves, the second reason is kind of slow, is that I've been doing Romans and Punic Wars for such a long time. I've been at this project for many years. I don't want to say I'm fatigued by it, but I also like to paint other things, right? so my Punic War stuff has slowly been, very slowly been growing over the years. So, the Punic War stuff and the Romans are still a high priority on my list. But as you can see, as I flip over here, I have been painting these Afghan warriors, and as much as I love the Punic Wars and Romans, these honestly have been the funnest things I've ever painted. I don't know if it's just because Perry did such a good job, or if it's a new era or something, but I've just been having a blast with these guys. So, and you can see the terrain there. I've just been motoring out on these guys every time I can paint. So obviously there's going to be some colonial content coming to my channel in the future. Obviously first with my vlog. Hopefully if COVID clears up, we can do battle reports with the Men Who Would Be Kings. That looks like a great game that I'll probably be playing. And solo content, not so much I think with these guys, but probably more with Clash of Spears and stuff like that. Of course, I don't have them out here, but I've been doing World War II, the Bersaglieri. Here's one of their tanks. I think it's the M13, M14. I forget the full name. But I'm still working on them. They're almost done. That was last year's project. I probably would have got through if winter didn't come and I didn't get these guys. But, oops, he's not built. But yeah, what I want to do with these guys is I do want to do some games in both action, but I also have some solo war games. And I have a sprue of just some desert rats here. And I want to do a squadron-based solo game that's a little more complex. So it's even more complex than Clash, the game I want to cover, and I'll talk about that more in the future. But that's something else I want to do. I want to do some other solo wargaming. It just takes time to get comfortable with the rules and actually paint up stuff. So yeah, in regards to gaming and painting, I'm mainly working on these guys until they're probably done, and I'm slowly just getting comfortable with the rules on my own to a point where I can like near memorize everything, right? I've read through the rules, I know the rules and how the game works, but there's still points where I have to, jump back into the rule book and research something I'm not absolutely 100% sure about. So yeah, that's gonna go on, but kind of postponed for now. The other thing I've been doing with the spring cleaning and stuff, and I've been doing this for the Romans for a while, is I take everything off the sprue, everything I possibly can, because when things get off the sprue, you save a lot of space, right? Like here's this desert rat sprue. Stacking all these up takes a quite amount of space. The sprue itself is quite wide, but if you take all these guys off, it's really easy to put them in a small bag or container. So that's what I've been doing with these kind of these little tool cases here, screw nuts and bolts and stuff, but I put models in them, so I kind of like put different heads and stuff in there, and I just find like it saves tons of space. And then you can just have a project set out where if you want to build guys, you can just, I got spears and pila and all sorts of stuff in there. I've got the Clash of Spears characters I have mixed up in there. It's just really easy to access, right? I got so many shields, and like, if those are on sprues, all those shields, that's a lot of shields. Those are all the Roman shields. If those pile up really high on those, you take a lot of space. So I just have been de-spruing, I guess is what you want to call it, a lot of stuff. And if you want to save space, get some organized containers and try that out. You might actually find that your model collection is not as big as you think. I also have this bigger one, and you can see some Bersaglieri on a motorbike there. I also do this with my World War II guys here, but I don't have as many as my Romans, so I don't need as much space. I'm going to actually move my Afghans here behind them so I don't crush them when I open this. But yeah, in here mostly, I'm not really organized all that well, but I've got all my other World War II stuff I want to do. There's honestly, other than just like infantrymen, and I don't need many for Bersaglieri, there's not a lot left. There's just a medium mortar in there. I got some tanks off somewhere else, and the motorbike men. Actually, there's some machine guns in there too, but I won't worry about that or show you anything like that. But it's very easy to do because I just spray paint them, and they'll be done fairly quickly, I think. The other project that I've stored in here, and I'm super excited to do, is these other Perry guys. I've decided to keep these guys. I want to do the Burgundian Wars. Specifically, I want to focus on the Duchy, I don't know how to pronounce that word. The Savoyards. Let's call them the Savoyards because I don't know English and I don't know how to pronounce that word. But let's just call them Savoyards. I'm using Perry mercenaries, a mix of Perry Italian metals from anywhere from Venice to just basic Italy. And the next project that I want to start working on after these Afghans, along with my Punic Wars, I think I'll jump back and forth like I was before. I've been very steadily going through the Afghans, but I think when I get to these guys, I'll jump back and forth between Punic Wars and Perry. But I want to do these Savoyards and do the Battle of La Planta, or Battle on La Planta. I've got some War of the Roses guys in there just for variation too. But I want to do the Battle of La Planta, and I want to collect and do up the Savoyard force first, and then I want to do the Bern mercenaries and the I think it's the Vaud, any troops around Vaud in Switzerland, in that area. It's kind of a battle that didn't involve Burgundy, and it's basically mainly the forces from Bern raiding and fighting Savoyard territory. And I think it's going to be interesting because from what I've read, the Swiss pikemen at the time aren't the most advanced troops for equipment and stuff. They've got of course they've got armor and they've got pikes and different weapons and like that. But compared to the Burgundians, which are really modern, the Swiss aren't as I guess from what I've read, aren't as technologically advanced with weapons and guns and stuff. But I read that the Savoyards are even, I like this guy, this is the Venetian guy. The Savoyards are even worse off than the Swiss from what I understand. In the next century, France actually completely occupies Savoy very easily during the Italian Wars. So they're kind of like, the rest of Europe is slowly getting out of the feudal state, but they're kind of one of the backwater states, and they just lose a bunch of territory in the 16th century, and are kind of it held back for a whole a whole few decades. And I just want to do like that little war where I've got kind of like some poor looking medieval troops, late medieval troops, fighting Swiss, and just a bunch of Perry stuff I'm showing off. But yeah, that's going to be a major project. I say major, it's not going to be huge like the Hail Caesar stuff, but I'm going to have at least a skirmish force. I just love these troops, these European troops that Perry does. So anyway, that's me just rambling on today, talking about what I want to do, what's going on next. I'm not a fast painter with what I do in life, and I'm just really doing this for enjoyment and for fun. So I thank anyone who's interested in watching. I do appreciate support, and if you have any comments or questions, I'd love to hear them. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.